Okay, let's kind of jump on to kind of really understand what is this system. What is a trading system? Now, let me kind of make it again very simple and easy. I love to kind of make things simpler and easier and relatable to our everyday life. So, to kind of simply put it directly, system is like a recipe. I'm sure many of you love to cook and many of you kind of are enjoy cooking, right? So now for you to cook some dish, some cuisine, you need a recipe. So now what are all there in the recipe? First, the recipe will include the ingredients of what you want to cook. Let's say for example, you want to cook some traditional and authentic cuisine or a dish, say something which is very, very authentic for a particular region, and it's been kind of that dish is kind of been eaten from a very long time, say 100 years, 200 years old. Say for example, if I have to say a very common thing which we all of enjoy across is something like a biryani, right? A veg biryani, or if you're a meat eater, a non-veg biryani, right? So let's take a biryani which is authentic 100 years old traditional biryani, the way it has kind of to be made. So what all it needs a lot of ingredients, many kind of ingredients which has to kind of go in. One. Second, most important is you got to know the methodology of cooking, what to put first, what to put next, how to mix it, how much to cook, how long to cook before the biryani is ready. Right? So now that is called as a system, the holistic system of getting a cuisine ready. Now for you to do that, first and foremost, say for example, you want to kind of eat something, or you want to cook and eat something, but if you do not know that, what will you do? The first and foremost is you'll try to find out who knows that system, who knows that recipe, right? And talk to them to get that recipe, which means you will learn it. Maybe your mother knows, maybe your father knows, maybe your grandparents know, maybe one of your old aunts or uncles know about that. So that's when you kind of call them up and say that, okay, this particular dish I want to kind of learn. So first and foremost, what you have to do is you have to learn a recipe or design one. If you know how to kind of really cook, or if you've been cooking regularly, just by kind of understanding few things, you can put together those recipes yourself, those ingredients yourself, and start to design one. So you design one. After having designed, what do? You kind of test that recipe for taste and outcome. You kind of really cook that once. You cook it once and see whether the biryani is tasting like biryani or something else, right? You kind of really do that, and you kind of see whether the taste is good, the masala is good, everything is kind of looking edible, and is it worth your time and effort? You kind of do that. If the taste is good and exactly what you need, you keep it. Otherwise, what you do? Maybe something is more, something is less, right? You kind of slightly alter the recipe, which means you maybe want to add slightly more spice, reduce some of the spices, bring in some more ingredients, some more stuff to kind of add, some vegetables to add and whatnot, or reduce the salt, or maybe cook for a little longer or cook little lesser, as the case may be. You kind of do those alterations to the recipe, and once you do the alterations, you once again test it, which means you once again cook it second time, third time, fourth time. So as you go cooking that with slight modifications every time you cook, and get the feedback from people who kind of eat your dish, or when you eat yourself, you'll get to know what's happening, right? You keep retesting it. After certain time period, the recipe becomes perfect based on your taste, what you need. And say 4 or 5 times you cook and you kind of attain that perfection in that. After that, every time you want to cook that biryani or that particular dish, it's just a simple thing. You simply use the same methodology, same ingredient again and again and again. Now, 10 years later or even beyond, and even you may even pass it on to your next generation, like you would have got some recipes from your parents, and that's how it is, right? So once you have that recipe, you all simply keep following that recipe. Every time you want to eat a biryani, the same thing, no shift and no change. In fact, if it is authentic and old, you would not even want to change anything, because you love the taste the way it is. And similarly, if you want to eat a simple, dal roti, same thing, or dal chawal, same thing, or if you are from South India, right, idli vada, same thing, or bisibelebath, same thing, or dosa, if you want to get a fit, the same recipe, repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. Now that is a system. Now, if this is a system, what is a trading system? Exactly like a system which you need for cooking a recipe. Like a recipe is a system, exactly like that you need a system to trade. So what does this system have? What is the characteristics of a system? What becomes a trading system? Like for example, when you have to kind of really buy, what you do in the market, typically you end up buying and selling. But where to buy, where to sell, you got to know that. So that comes from the system. Your system should tell you where to buy. Like for example, in cooking a recipe, your recipe will tell you what are the ingredients, how much are those ingredients, when to put those ingredients, right? Exactly, your trading system should tell where to buy, where to sell, where to exit, or what is the stop loss, right? What is the target? What is the risk and reward to it? What is the time frame in which you will trade? So all of those things should come out from your system. It's not like every time you want to cook, you'll start to think, okay, fine, what do I now start put? Or randomly you will not put things. No, you don't do. It's already pre-described. Maybe you don't have the recipe written because you've practiced it so much, it's already there in your head. But since you're going to be starting the trading now afresh, it is good to have it in a structured way like this, so that it becomes efficient and easy for you to trade constantly without your emotions to be involved, right? So the system, a trading system, is that aspect or that process where all these aspects of where to buy, where to sell, what is the stop loss, what is the target, what is the risk, what is the reward, what is the time frame, everything is neatly defined. All of this together is called a system. So that is what a system is all about. So now every time you kind of try to cook something or eat a dish, understand it is coming out of a very, very efficient system. Maybe if your mother is cooking, you kind of took it for granted. Now you know how much of science behind her cooking has gone in. She knows a proper system, and that's why every time her cooking is perfect, right? You enjoy your mother's cooking like anything, right? So because she has been following a system which has been handed over to her, right? So maybe you want to go and talk to your mother and ask her, how does she know all of that in a right way to do it? If you understand that aspect, the same aspects, the same elements goes into the trading as well, right? So how you want to really trade, what are the great qualities of a trader, right? All of that is all around us. You just have to observe that and then kind of put that in, right? So when you kind of do that part of it, your essence as a trader will start to increase. So this is called as a trading system. So far, if you kind of got it, type in the comment, recipe and trading goes together, or cooking and trading goes together. Type in the comment, cooking and trading goes together. Awesome. I'll see you in the next video where we'll talk about the importance of trading system. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.